Okay, this is Avarice. We are back with another video. This time, let's not talk about the naked raiders. I think it's basically because I've turned a lot of mods on Fallout 4 because I'm looking at individual mods and there's a conflict. And they're also tier detectors off. So anyway, not the point. Point is the reason for doing this is I am starting a new series in which I go over various mods that I'm going to be using in my upcoming Fallout 4 roleplay. It's not going to happen for a while, but regardless, thought I'd start it now, show people what I'm going to be using. And these mods are going to be immersive, mods that I think will fit, and regardless of whether they're not going to be in the game or not, mods that otherwise I find just interesting, or of course that you viewers put in the comments section. So, for the first mod, we have the Take Cover mod by Registrator 2000. And my hat off to you if I was wearing one. Cause what? Take your hat off. Whatever, you know what I mean. Basically, this adds a very essential aspect of combat that should have been in the game from the get-go. Now, whether you like the combat or not, my feelings on it are fairly mixed. Basically, there are some things that are missing. Now, by looking at these raiders, we want to kill them. Now, we can lean out of cover in first person, but we can't in third because we just shoot the wall. Very primitive in my opinion. I don't like the setting, but this mod aims to rectify that. Now, first and foremost, to install it, just drag and drop the contents into data, your Fallout 4 data file, or use a mod manager to install it. It's just as straightforward as going to the mod link in the description and downloading it using your mod manager and just waiting for it to install, and then download, and then double clicking on it to install it. Now, it comes with two options in aid. First and foremost, Take Cover is pretty much just a hotkeyable option, in which in this case I have hotkeyed it to number 1, so every time I want to take cover I just press 1. And that was a poor attempt at taking cover, but not the point. Okay, so yes, that's quite important, but if we go into configuration, I would suggest taking off double tap. Now, the reason I would suggest this is because if you, for example, like me, have nervous fingers, and yeah, you've got 1 selected, what if you accidentally press 1 again? What if you don't want to leave cover? You will accidentally leave cover anyway. So yeah, as I said, I would suggest leaving that off. That way you have the option to turn it off manually. Hey look, I've finished killing these enemies. Right, I'm just gonna come out. Now, of course, you can do that by just walking away. Sometimes that's buggy and you will be walking away in a crouching position, or you can just press 1 again, or whatever hotkey you put on, and it will take it away. So, now, we come into here. Sprint to cover first person is disabled automatically by default. That is because, basically, when you are in first person, I showed you before, this happens, and that's the reason it's disabled. Now, in terms of sprint to cover, this is an aspect that should have, well, the whole cover mod should have been put in the game from the get-go, because it adds the option to not only outflank your enemies. For example, if they didn't know you were coming, you could sneak up here and, oh hey look, enemies, down. Alright, I'm going to kill them. Yep, you get my point. Or indeed, if those enemies were all shooting at you, shooting, whatever, you could come up and you could crouch and you would be out of danger. And I just shot that big ass metal strip. You get my point though, I hope. Anyway, so yes, that's sprint to cover. Now you can do it in third or first person. Third person, it's easy. You just sprint. You don't even have to press the hotkey for this. You do it as soon as you go here. It does take a second to do it though, so I would take that into consideration. And you automatically hop into cover. Now, of course, you can do it in first person, And yeah, now note when you go into cover, damn it, when you go into cover you will go back into third person, but when you leave cover, I think you have to put this setting on camera mode fixed. When you leave cover, if you prefer to be in first person, you will go back into first person. See, third person, first person. So yeah, quite handy. But now, if we were to enter cover behind this low wall, excuse me for 1 second. There we go. Should have thought of that beforehand. If we were to enter cover behind here, we can still look out. Although, of course, because of the game limitations, it is a bit buggy, which is why I would suggest doing it at the edges of the low wall. That way you can just like side maneuver out. Basically, you would want to enter low cover for that, because of course if you try and enter high cover, look, they can still shoot you in the head. So, the way you distinguish whether you're going to enter high or low cover is you look above your head for high cover. And high cover is useful for big walls because you have more movability, more maneuverability. But low cover, if you were to enter this wall, you'd look below your head. And now you're in low cover, and you can do the shoes thing, as I said. So, really quite useful. Now, again, take into consideration it does take a second. Now, come back into the settings and cover vault. This is quite a cool aspect. This can work against a solid wall like this. Back into cover, but I just went through a wall. Again, game limitations. So yeah, you can do that, though technically it is cheating because hey, you can pass through things. But this is really useful. For example, if you have, in fact, let's do it. Let's do it here. I'm spawning raiders here. T-detect is off, of course. Now, come along here. Hey, look, raiders. Let's sneak. Let's do it. Let's go into cover. Okay, let's say there's only... I don't know. Stay still. Okay. Wrong position, I admit. Let's say there's only one raider. We killed them. I want to move on. You just press 1 again and you will vault over. Or, if you are being flanked from behind and you want to get out of cover quickly, you're in cover. Yeah, you can do that. Let me press 1 again. And yeah, you can do that. Really quite useful. I like this mod. I'm definitely going to be adding this as part of my roleplay. And basically, this, please leave this off. I have had problems with it. Basically, what it's meant to do, we come along here, and you're meant to be able to, for example, if you need to, wrong way, if you need to switch between low and high cover, you will be able to do that, but as I just said, I've crashed several times with it. I don't like it. That's just my opinion, by the way. If you do like that, then by all means, please put that on. It's entirely up to you. Now, let's talk about a few more of these settings. Come in here, notifications. I don't know, I'm going to leave that off. Personally, because well, really all it does is show you, hey look, entering cover, exiting cover. I don't, in my opinion, it wouldn't be important for me, but it may be important for you. Now, I've no idea what this is. I've looked for for clues as to what this is. I don't know, so please, I just leave it on. Now, in terms of camera mode fixed, I think if you leave it on dynamic, there is a bit of a, well, I wouldn't call it a problem, but we enter cover. No, apparently, they've fixed that bug. was actually watching a bit of a mod review of this beforehand to see whether I would like it, and of course I do, but they've fixed the bug, but I would probably leave it on camera mode fixed. Anyway, basically, before the bug was fixed, you'd come along here in first person, you'd go into third person here, and you'd exit and you'd still be in third person. But yeah, apparently they fixed that. Really, all that setting means is that basically it seems both settings do the same, but when you leave cover you'll be in the same perspective you were in. So I think that's pretty much it. As always, please, if you like this mod, please leave an, I keep saying please, but leave an endorsement to the mod author. It shows them that you want them to continue, and as I said before, this is really quite a cool mod, one I'm definitely going to be using because it adds so much more to the game. In my opinion, this also adds to the role playing because you're coming along and... Okay, anyway, you're coming along and you may be talking about something, you may be looking for something, but you see enemies. Oh crap, look, I can quickly go into cover. So no, not only in my opinion, there we go, that's the bug I was talking about. Not only in my opinion does it add to the shooting, the first/third person shooting, but it also adds to the role playing as well. Come in, take the shot, we shoot the wall. And yeah, we kill them all, we move on. Whoa! Has your throat been cut? I'm definitely going to have a look at that, and if I can't fix it I'm just going to have to start a new character for the mods I cover. That's going to be it. I hope you all enjoyed. Again, very easy mod to learn. I would just recommend setting this to a key that you will definitely remember, and I'd suggest turning double tap off. I think I gave my reasons. Basically, you went to cover, what if you accidentally press it again? Basically, yeah, it'll happen too quickly. Basically, I think in the first iteration, cover was actually on W. You'd double tap W, and that's where that setting came in. I don't know whether it still applies. I think it does, but you double tap W, and you're just running along, and you might enter cover randomly, like here. Yeah, so anyway, that's really all we have time for at the moment. I hope you all enjoyed, and I just killed him from shooting him in the butt, apparently. I used to be a wastelander like you, but then I took a bullet to the butt, apparently. Anyway, it's going to be it. Thank you all for watching, and of course, if you have any mods you want me to look through, please put them in the description. Otherwise, I'm going to be uploading more mods that basically I like, and I'm going to be, well, basically putting as part of the upcoming roleplay, or just generally mods I like. So anyway, thank you all for watching. Have a good one.